New signing alert, breaking news. We're talking about it right here. Don't forget, we're giving away this championship belt at 100,000 subscribers. So go ahead and click subscribe for a chance to win today. Now, I love talking about breaking news on this channel, but this one I have to go a little bit in depth, so please bear with me. But it appears Mercedes Mone is all elite. According to Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful Select, basically AEW has been in talks with Mercedes Mone, and those within the industry expect her to be joining AEW. The speculation, the rumors online is that Mercedes Mone will be involved with Mariah May on Wednesday Night Dynamite. That's just speculation. That hasn't been confirmed. But we got to talk about how we got here, right? Mercedes, for a long time, was rumored to go to AEW. Triple H takes 100% creative control of the WWE, and then it becomes a topic in which Mercedes Mone is interested or potentially interested in going back to WWE. Then we get some rumors that Charlotte Flair has signed for a massive deal. We talked about this about a week or two ago on the channel. So make sure, if you guys aren't subscribed, this is why you should subscribe. Because some things I might be talking about today, there might be some stuff from a week ago or two that might make a little bit more sense. But, you know, the rumor was Charlotte got the biggest female contract extension in wrestling. And basically, there was talks that Sasha Banks was back in discussion with WWE, but she wanted more money. And this is all rumors. This is all he say, she say, internet stuff, obviously, so keep that in mind. I think a lot of people tend to pass judgment on wrestlers based on rumors and not anything that they actually are knowledgeable about. But that's kind of how we got here. WWE wasn't willing to give Sasha Banks the number that she is looking for. And obviously, Tony Khan is rich, and he has a lot of money, and he's going to offer Mercedes Mone a contract. I don't think, and I just want to be super clear right now. I don't think Mercedes going to AEW is a bad thing, right? I think whenever there is a massive free agent out there in the wrestling world, I do not blame WWE, AEW, TNA, New Japan. I don't blame any company for going out there. In fact, if there is a major free agent out there, I say go and get them, right? Regardless of the circumstances, you should go and get them, right? So if Mercedes doesn't go to WWE, but she goes to AEW, and you don't like AEW, at the end of the day, AEW is giving her what she wants. I can't fault them for doing that. I will say, though, I do have a hard time getting excited about signings, regardless of the company, when I see talent not necessarily being utilized. This is an issue across the board in wrestling. I stand very firm on that. That is something specifically to me. I complained about it a lot when Black and Gold NXT was just signing every indie wrestler, and I complained about it a lot when AEW was signing every former WWE superstar. When I see talent get signed to a company and I don't see talent being utilized, it frustrates me. Now, with that being said, I do have to make it very clear, when there's a massive free agent, you go after them. Now, when it comes to Mercedes Mone, I think there is a lot of pressure on Mercedes. I think the IWC will give a lot of pressure towards Mercedes because the AEW women's division hasn't necessarily been the big focal point. And I've been saying recently they have been starting to put more attention on the women's division. But I feel like the IWC will blame Mercedes if the women's division isn't booked properly or whatever it may be. And I don't think that's fair. I don't think that's fair for Mercedes to carry that pressure. I think there are tons of great women in AEW. I think Mercedes will definitely be the face of the women's division. I would even go as far as saying Mercedes could be the face of the company in its entirety, which I think is a very fair statement. I feel like the IWC will put a lot of pressure on her. And if Tony Khan and AEW don't properly book Mercedes, or they don't properly book the shows, or the shows aren't drawing as much as they are supposed to, or whatever it may be, I think a lot of people will put the fault on Sasha, Mercedes. I don't think that's fair. I think, for me personally, it's like Mercedes is a hell of a talent. She's such a great talent. And I feel like she'll do good regardless of where she goes. I don't doubt her ability to go and make things happen, whether it's AEW or WWE. I don't doubt that. My fear with Mercedes going to AEW, it's actually kind of the same fear that I have with WWE, It's that they already have so much stuff going on. Do you necessarily need them, right? Which, when I say that, it's kind of ironic because I'm talking earlier in this video about how when there's a big free agent, you should go after them, right? It's like you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. But I think it's always worth the risk. This is why TNA and Mercedes actually would have been a lot better for me. Like, as a fan, I would have preferred Mercedes and TNA, mainly due to the fact that she could have. It's the same thing I was saying about Will Ospreay or Okada or CM Punk or, any massive free agent that goes to TNA is going to be the face of the company, which is awesome, right? Like, for me as a fan, I think that's great to see TNA grow and become a true, legitimate, top-tier wrestling company. I feel like they have some great creative. I feel like they've been making some good business decisions, but they need to grow, right? And obviously, Mercedes would have been nice to see Mercedes or Ospreay or Punk choose TNA. Right now, I don't know if TNA is necessarily at that point where them and WWE and AEW can truly be competitive when it comes to signing free agents, right? And I hope I'm wrong. TNA has a lot of advantages. There's a lot of good reasons to go to TNA in 2024, but they're just not on the same level as WWE and AEW when it comes to resources. And I think for a lot of wrestlers, you're going to go to the one that has the most resources. So with Mercedes choosing AEW, it's not necessarily shocking to me. I just hope that they get it right, and I feel like a lot of people, and I know, look, man, I could say a million positive things or a million negative things. You're going to come up with your own narrative that you want to spin. But one thing that I've learned with AEW, specifically AEW, we're talking about AEW here for right now. There was a lot of talent that came into AEW and they were automatically assumed to be the saving grace of the company. They're the next big deal, the next big signing, the next this, the next that. And unfortunately, that hasn't always panned out. I'm not seeing a huge increase in attendance or in viewership or in merch sales. I'm not seeing these things being reported as a significant increase. So I think sometimes it is a little bit harder to get excited. I saw Adam Copeland go into AEW, and I love what Adam Copeland's doing in AEW, but for 20 plus years, he was known as Edge. So him going to AEW didn't necessarily make a significant impact to the overall growth of the business. That's not a bad thing, but to me, that's just reality. And I do feel like that should be pointed out. You know what I mean? I feel like that's something that should definitely be pointed out. But again, I 100% can never condemn this signing. I can never say anything bad about it because at the end of the day, when you have a big free agent, you go after them, right? WWE didn't need CM Punk, but CM Punk is a free agent. You go after CM Punk. It's just what you do. That's just how it is. That's business. And, for Tony Khan, maybe bringing in Mercedes. Hey, maybe you bring in Deonna Purrazzo. Maybe you bring in a couple other free agents for the women's division. You bring them in. Maybe you really change the way people, perceive your women's wrestling division. So we'll see how it goes, but I want to know what you guys think. Big breaking news. My name's Ango. I'll see you next time.